Hello everyone and welcome to the first round of the Hype Energy AOR F1 League. We're in Australia for the first round of this 15th season. My name is Justin and joining me for today's action, it's James.
Hello everybody. Nice to be back, nice to be here. This is going to be a really interesting season. Plenty of racers looking for that ultimate prize in this community, which is the AOR F1 title, but I'm sure this is going to be as competitive as ever.
Yep, really looking forward to it as we already have a time on the board, a 122.3 from Sam F1 LFC. It was the first car out on track, but Rosberg immediately goes one better, almost two tenths quicker, and a couple more tenths found by VSR Simon. Just 8 minutes remaining in this qualifying session, and again, another 2 tenths being found by Drawmaster 99, so already the times are starting to tumble, so it'll be interesting to see if Sam continues on for another lap or if he heads straight back in, but we do have returning with us the reigning champion, the Flying Finn, and of course his brother. They're both going to be driving for Mercedes this year, but a lot of new faces.
Yeah, absolutely. There are plenty of new faces, plenty of drivers I've seen in the past. It's got to be said, but a lot of these guys, I feel like, you watch real life F1, there's a lot of midfield action. I don't think this league is going to be any different. There's going to be plenty going on in that midfield. I do think there is maybe a slight divide between the first and the mid-table or the mid-pack. And it's going to be very close to call this year, but someone really needs to challenge Finn for the title, it seems, because he is running away with records. He could be running away with records, I should say, over the next couple of years, if a couple of seasons, in fact, if he continues the way he is. But it's looking very mighty so far. And look, actually, take a look at the top two. I've just spotted 1,000th of a second between TOR Leopard and the Flying Finn. That is a statement of intent from TOR Leopard.
Yep, yeah, that is incredible stuff to see. As we mentioned, he's not just the reigning champion, the Flying Finn. He is the 3-time running reigning champion of this league. And yeah, it's good to see TOR Leopard going 1,000th quicker in the early stages of this qualifying session. It'll be interesting to see where Surprise lines up. We do have a number of cars that have not set a time just yet, and certainly those aren't really representative times from Kyle Mitchell and OMG It's Joe. Kyle Mitchell was a bit of a qualifying specialist last season. Always seemed to do better in qualifying than he did in the races, but it'll be interesting to see if he has maybe settled down a little bit this season and is able to focus on the races a little bit better and think long-term, as we're about halfway through this qualifying session. Some more times coming in. Currently, Danny M7 currently in 8th. With a 121.9, oh my gosh, and it is so close right around him, actually 5,000ths to Simon and 3,000ths to Crab, so it's extremely tight in the bottom half of that top 10.
Yeah, I mean, having spoke to a couple of drivers before this, they were pretty nervous. I did speak to, in fact, one, Gorsh, Crab, and he was said to be very happy to get into the top 10 this race, and he was kind of asking, how should I go about this race? I said, don't go about it any differently. Go about it the same way you go about any other league race. It's a massive event, this is, but you need to take it like any other race. The moment you take it the slightest bit different, you're going to mess it up. So just try and keep your cool and see how far you can get. I'm obviously a driver speaking with very little experience, it has to be said, but it is going to be, this is a very close qualifying session at the moment. Just the first few cars, Leopard and Finn, we're already with 5 minutes to go. This is going to be such a close ending to this qualifying session. Drama at the very start of AOR Season 15.
Yep, I'm board with LGS 469 right now, and yeah, do feel free to let me out. Let me know if there's anything that needs watching. Just shout at me. But on board with LGS 469, he's coming to the end of his first time lap. It didn't look like the tidiest of laps, and it looks like it is going to be in the 22s, so that's going to be good enough for 14th quickest. 4.5 minutes remaining in the session, which is enough time, I would say, for him to go in and back out again. So he'll need to get back into the pits. He's got 1.3 laps of fuel, so he's got plenty of time to do that. Let's see who is heading out on an out lap right now. Drawmaster 99, another new name to the league, currently 5th fastest and currently on an out lap, just making his way through turn 4 and into turn 5 now. But he's currently 5th, as I mentioned, a 121.7, 2 tenths to STS F1 Alonso. So both of the Saltunk brothers are in the top 5 as it stands right now. And speaking of the devil, actually, STS F1 Alonso is out on track now as well, too.
Absolutely. Just a quote on Drawmaster. I've seen plenty of him recently. He's got his motorsport pedigree, it's fair to say. He was once a teammate back in the day of Felix Rosenqvist.
Oh, wow.
It's a very small formula, but I can't remember which. But he was a teammate of Felix Rosenqvist once, so he has got his motorsport pedigree. He's now in AOR Tier 1, so he has gone to the esports side of things, and he's proving himself. He has definitely shown what he can do. 5th overall at the moment in this qualifying session isn't a bad attempt at all, but the men we want to be watching, I would say, are probably, you're right, the 2 Mercedes boys. They look like they are going to be the ones challenging for pole in these last few minutes of this qualifying session. So let's keep an eye on both Finn and Alonso.
Yeah, NLR Evo as well. You never want to count out the German driver. He won a race last time out. Oh, as VSR Simon takes an interesting route through turn 1 in order to get out of the way of Drawmaster, who is well, doesn't have enough fuel to do another lap. So I imagine he's in Rich Mix right now, just trying to get back to the pits to see if he can go out one final time. It's going to be very tight to see whether or not he can actually do that. But let's see, the Flying Finn is actually out right now, and it looks like he is coming to the end of the lap. So let's actually go on board with the Flying Finn. And James, if you want to talk us through this lap that he's about to start.
Absolutely. So this is a very crucial part of the lap. Of course, only the most crucial part is just getting the slingshot through the last corner into towards the pit straight and down towards turn 1. This is going to be one hell of a lap if he needs to pull one out the bag. Braking just after the 50 million ball, throwing that car into turn 1 and then through turn 2. Then runs it a little bit wide on the exit of turn 3, dropping all the way down now in towards, sorry, this is turn 3, I should say. And he brakes it a little bit through there, goes pretty well through turn 4. This is the Ricardo corner, getting it nicely. Don't want to be hitting that curb on the exit. That massive sausage curb can throw you completely off. You don't want to be getting anywhere near that. Down then through the gears at the end of the first sector. Looks pretty good so far, pretty clean. And he's on rails in this Mercedes, really going for it as he comes now down into towards turn 9 and 10. This is crucial part of the lap now as we're heading towards one of the fastest left-right parts of the circuit. In fact, one of the fastest in the sport at the moment. So through 11 and 12, you want to be so committed through there. It is absolutely pivotal what you do. Alonso goes fastest of all with a 20.8. His brother, though, is still on the rails as he comes through towards the end of the final sector. He comes through still and he's backed off.
Oh.
He's backed off. So that is big. Finn backing off maybe his final lap here. He needs to make sure he's got enough fuel to really run again.
Yep. So I think he is going to run again. He's going to give it one more go. So these tires are going to be pretty knackered, though, after 2 laps like that. So it'll be interesting to see if that has any sort of effect on his race start. But he's going to go ahead and give it a go again. NLR Evo as well in the Ferrari. Currently out doing a lap, and he's just making his way into Sector 2 right now, actually, as he makes his way through Turn 5 and down towards Turn 6. But yeah, as we mentioned, currently fastest STSF1 Alonso, the younger of the Saltunk brothers, currently with a 120.8, 4/10 quicker than Leopard was able to manage earlier in this session. Of course, a little bit more rubber down on the circuit. Less than 30 seconds remaining in this qualifying session, and everybody is out on track right now, except for Drawmaster. Yeah, Drawmaster is in the pits, but everybody else currently out on circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. Leopard will be one of the final cars to take the checkered flag in qualifying. He's only just started his final run. He's ahead of the Flying Finn at the moment. This is going to be an almighty lap. Alonso's pit, that's his qualifying over. He's got nothing more to give in the Mercedes. He's now down to the Flying Finn. Evo. They're all in it. Evo's coming around the final corner. You want to check this out in the Ferrari as he comes towards the line. Will he go pole? Yes, he will. 20.8. And that's how close that is. 0.030 of a second. That is mighty close in qualifying.
Oh my gosh.
That is close. 0.15 of a second from the Flying Finn. He takes pole position, surely, but there are men still around. Danny goes into 4th place. Leopard is still on a lap. He's coming through the final few, into the middle sector he goes. Keep on board with Leopard. He could be the man to change this qualifying session.
Yep, making his way down towards turn 11 now, and nearly touching 200 miles an hour, keeping it in 7th gear through those corners, coming out at over 180 miles per hour now, down towards a deceptive corner, braking as late as he possibly can into the right-hander, carrying good speed, using the exit curb as well. He will be the last car to cross the line, and he had pole position earlier, but can he do it? Into the penultimate corner he goes. Third gear, fourth gear, up through the gears, through the final corner as he accelerates towards the finish line. Is it going to be enough to displace the current reigning champion, the Flying Finn? No, it is not. It's going to be fourth position, second row of the grid for TOR Leopard with a 121.158, and that is the Flying Finn pole position for the first round of Season 15 of the Hype AOR F1 leagues. NLR Evo will join him on the front row of the grid, 11 thousandths of a second separating them. STS F1 Alonso in third position, just 34 thousandths of a second off of them, and then about 3/10 down to TOR Leopard in the end. So it's very surprising. The Saltunk brothers and NLR Evo just managing to find those few extra tenths at the end of that qualifying session, and that is what's going to put them in the top 3.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people are going to be very happy with the qualifying session there. It's very promising to see that Finn is so close with everybody else at this current moment. But the other thing you want to note is that Leopard in fourth. I'll take you through the grid. Finn is on the front row alongside Evo on the first row. Then Alonso and Leopard on row 2. Danny and Safrise make up row 3, with Brown and Carl Mitchell making up row 4. More so as on the 5th row with Simon. Gorsh starts from 11th with Drawmaster 12th and looked strong at the start, but wasn't managing to maintain it. Then it's Rosberg, Sam F1 LFC, Joe, Pinecone, LGS, and then Lockdown, Reynolds and Hamilton failed to set a time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this race shakes out. It's obviously been a while since everybody has been racing, since the finale at Abu Dhabi Season 14. And it's going to be an interesting one. The Melbourne circuit, unique, different from other circuits on the F1 calendar, and it's always put up a surprise, and is particularly, I would say, in AOR. We're used to seeing some pretty exciting Australian Grand Prix. Last time out, actually, last time in Australia, Limitless won, who people have been pointing out in the chat. Limitless is not here today. He has exams going on, and I believe this will be the only race that he's intending to miss, so he should be joining us for round 2 next week. So to all the Limitless fans that are watching, you can still watch, but make sure you turn in next week when he makes his triumphant return. So we have Gausch Crab filling in for him today, and doing decently well of filling in as well. So here we are on the grid now as the lights are coming on. And 5 lights, and they're away. It looks like a good start for the Flying Finn. He's just about got the Ferrari covered, I think. But no, the Ferrari coming up the inside, actually. Here he goes. Can he sneak it up the inside into turn 1? I think they're still managing to go side by side. Let's see if we go on board with Evo, and he's actually lost out now to the other Mercedes. A bit of contact in turn 3 as well, and yeah, Evo has definitely lost out in all of that. Apologies for the timing screen being completely wrong, but it does look like it is actually Evo in third behind the 2 Mercedes.
Absolutely, it's a pretty good start from both Mercedes. He got blocked off Evo into turn 1, really nowhere for him to go. He had no room, and now it's a case of will the Mercedes now pull away? Evo will want to stick with them, but Finn goes a little bit wide through turn number 10. You want to watch the Williams behind of Leopard. He's trying to go side by side with Evo as they come through 11 and 12. He's going to have the nerve to go around the outside of the German. He's going to try. I don't think he's going to get the move done. He sure isn't going to get that move done, but it was getting close to the 2 Mercedes side by side, coming down in towards the end of the final sector. Alonso around the outside. Look at him go. Is he going to keep it? No, he is. Oh, he has. He's up the inside, I should say, and he's through. What's the move that was then from Alonso and his brother?
Incredible stuff from the younger brother on his older brother. Start of lap 2 now. No DRS, of course, until the end of lap 2 and the start of lap 3. But of course, the DRS detection zone not until the end of the lap. So really not to the end of lap 3 will we actually see the DRS. The Flying Finn not able to do anything on Alonso at this particular time with the benefit of that slipstream. 5-second stop-go penalty for Kyle Mitchell, I believe that was. Yeah, as he is already into the pits at the end of lap 1. Not sure what happened to the Canadian, but he has certainly lost out there. Both Mercedes going very wide, trying to open up turn 4 as much as they possibly can. NLR Evo doing a good job keeping up with both of them. TOR Leopard as well doing a good job of just about keeping within touching distance of that Ferrari up ahead, and it is very close, actually. The biggest gap at the moment in the top 10 is between Simon and Morso at 1.3 seconds, so everybody in the top 8 separated by less than a second currently.
This is looking very good. To be honest, the Williams was so brave to try and keep it around the outside of Evo through 11 and 12. It was never, ever going to work, but at least he gave it a good go. The top three within touching distance of each other. The two Mercedes and the Ferrari. Everyone wanted to see two Mercedes versus a Ferrari, I'm sure. So let's just watch these crucial next couple of laps, because DRS will be enabled. This is, of course, going to give that massive, massive help down those straights. But it's all about the exits, I think, using DRS effectively round here.
Keep an eye on those front guys for me if you can. I am having a look at VSR Simon, who is trying to pile the pressure on OMG. It's Joe, who I think just made an overtake on the Renault for that final points-paying position as they finish lap 2 and start lap 3. DRS activated now, but again, no DRS detection until the end of this lap. Here we go to start lap 3, and Joe is actually now piling the pressure onto CRL Rosberg, and a bit of a gap continuing to form between 8th and 9th. So that really seems to be the separation between the driver skill levels, if you want to say. But yeah, the top 8 starting to break away now, almost 3 seconds between Morso and Rosberg.
Yeah, they're starting to come out a little bit more now, and you will find these gaps during the course of a race. But those top 3, they're staying well within reach of each other. It's still about a second that covers the top 3. Leopard isn't too far behind. He is now dropping a little bit away. He's 1.1 seconds away, but, you know, it's not too bad. If he can keep a gap, if he can get within DRS, you know, just keep the momentum going, he's still got a chance here of maybe even a podium. So it's not completely out of the question for him yet. He just needs to keep the pace up and make sure that Ferrari doesn't go hurtling away.
And that's exactly what's happening, actually. As you were talking about that, he's pulled out a few more tenths. TOR Leopard now 1.6 seconds off of that Mercedes. And actually, Evo is looking very close to the Flying Finn here. I don't know if the Flying Finn is being held up at all by Alonso. I can't imagine. I mean, they were all so close in qualifying, so I have to imagine that these 3 guys are really going to have a hard time battling each other just because they're so equal on performance. TOR Leopard losing another 10th or so through the final sector. He's well out of the DRS range now. Luckily for him, though, Danny M7 is also out of DRS range. Let's look a little bit further back on board with Surprise at the moment. He's not that far off Danny M7, currently running in the top 5. He's got P1R Brown, one of the new guys, just behind him, and EVR Morso just behind him as well. So a bit of a pack here now from 5th down to 8th. This 4-car battle for the final position in the top 5. And Surprise is looking pretty comfortable, although he is now just starting to drop out of that DRS range on Danny M7. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Let's see if we can look a little bit further down. OMG, it's Joe still running behind CRL Rosberg, not able to find a way past. But again, DRS was recently just activated, so we might see some more overtakes coming up pretty soon here. Oh, and it looks like there's a car off circuit. I think that might have been LGS. No, that was Drawmaster, actually. The McLaren of Drawmaster was in the grass. Coming out of turn 10, I believe it was, and that's lost him heaps of time. Oh, and he's also lost his entire front wing. So not a great start for Drawmaster and Kyle Mitchell, who, remember, had to pit at the end of lap 1.
Damn well nearly put it in the wall there. He got so wide on the exit of the final corner. He lost the rear end and so nearly ran into the wall. I'm sorry if you didn't catch that, but of course, Alonso, well, his brother made a slight mistake going into turn 3 on the previous lap, but now he's going to have to really hassle and harry his brother down in towards turn 4. It's not going to happen through here, but I'll keep you posted on this race lead.
Yep, looks like some more changes of position, actually. In the back there, it looks like Simon losing a position to Crab. Lockdown as well, I think, made up a couple of positions there. He's now up into P13. Let's see if we can actually see how many positions everybody has gained. Yeah, Hamilton up the most with 8 positions gained. Oh, very tight between Simon and Pinecone. Pinecone, the very young driver. In case anybody missed the video that was put out by Eterno UK, he put out a driver introduction video. Definitely check that out if you're going to be following along with Season 15 of the AOR Hype F1 season, because it'll tell you all about these drivers. And Pinecone is very, very young, inexperienced driver, but doing well to grab that position off of VSR Simon. Up at the front, it looks like they are still very close, but not quite battling just yet. It looks like all the real battles are happening outside the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys staying, as I said, within touching distance. I'm keeping a close eye on this because there have been little mistakes, little mistakes. I can't really say too much about it, but at the moment it's all pretty single file at the moment. Nothing really coming of anything. No one really going for any moves as of yet. But that midfield, you're right, it's going to be so close. It must be so frustrating for those guys who are racing at 11th and 12th. They're racing so well, but it's just annoying that they're not scoring any points, and that will be the frustration, I'm sure, on the first race of the season. The Flying Finn, though, is really, really hotting up an attack, it looks like, on SDS F1 Alonso. This is going to really... this is going to be close, I think, this lap. If he can just keep within a few tenths, I feel like half a second's a bit much with DRS, especially around this circuit. You need to be within 3 tenths and really hit them on the exits of corners, as I've said before. But he is staying right with his brother now as they head into the middle sector.
Yeah, and I'm just keeping an eye on OMG It's Joe again. He is really harassing CRL Rosberg, has been doing so for a number of laps now as well, and it really seems like he's having a hard time finding a way past, although he also seems to be clearly quicker than the Toro Rosso ahead of him. So the Red Bull driver is going to be pretty frustrated with that one as they make their way through 11 and 12. He might try and set himself up for an overtake here as they finish lap 6. Speaking of which, let's go on board with the leaders as they come onto the start-finish straight. It looks like a bit of wheel spin for both of the Mercedes cars, actually, through that penultimate corner. That wing opens for the Flying Finn, the reigning world champion. Too far back, though, in order to close in on his younger brother up ahead as they start lap 7 now. DRS will be open once again as they make their way out of turn 2. Can the Flying Finn get close enough to actually make use of that DRS? I don't think he will. His brother's doing a bit of weaving, trying to get that Mercedes, his teammate, out of his slipstream as best he can. We do still have all of the drivers in this race. EVR Reynolds, by the way, the viewers would have seen this, but other stuff was going on when you were talking about some stuff, James. But EVR Reynolds got into some sort of incident, I'm not sure with who, lost a big, significant portion of his front wing and was forced into the pits. So another driver that's not having the best of races. Meanwhile, keeping up with the top 3, NLR Evo getting very close to the Flying Finn. The Flying Finn not so much getting close to Alonso. It seems over the course of that first and second sector, Alonso has managed to pull out a little bit. 7 tenths is the gap, but only 3 tenths from Finn to Evo.
Yeah, it's right here. This is a big, big call, though. These two Mercedes guys are, of course, I think, going to be at a party with each other. As Evo gets even closer again, I think it's the strategy that's going to play a massive role in this race. When do they pit? If that Ferrari decides to pit before these two, this could leave them in a bit of a shock here, because the undercut can be quite powerful around here. It is a one-stop race, and in comes, there we go. 2 of them have come in, as I've said it, Alonso and Evo into the pits, and now Finn will now mount an attack. That must have been a very, very late call from Evo to come into the pits. He will want to make sure that there's more pitters as well.
Yeah, and the Flying Finn is going to do his best to try and perform an overtake here, or you know, he's going to try and pit after them. Yeah, exactly, and he's going to try and see if he can really push this lap here. I don't know how much tire life he has left, and that's really, I mean, he's been running around in dirty air for, yeah, he does not have much tire life at all as he's sliding his way through turn 4, and so I think he's really going to lose out here. In fact, I think he might lose second place to Evo in this pit stop phase, and I imagine we'll see more and more cars starting to come into the pits. 3-second time penalty for CRL Hamilton for multiple warnings from race control there. Let's see, Leopard did stay out as well. Danny M7 is still out. Yeah, all of these guys in the top 10 obviously have stayed out so far. Alonso dropped down into 14th, not really with clear air though. He is closing up on LGS 469 at quite a rate of knots. EVR Reynolds with the fastest lap on a set of super softs. And yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Evo is obviously came out behind Alonso, but it doesn't look like Alonso's really holding up Evo. Yeah, it really comes down to LGS. I think LGS's presence is going to determine whether or not the Flying Finn loses a position. Yeah.
Finn's in, and he comes into the pits, and he's making his first pit stop of this race, and his only pit stop in this race. He will bolt on the set of soft tyres. You can't see him doing anything else, and in he comes straight away. One of the Red Bulls will follow him as well, and the Williams. So Leopard and Danny all in as well, more so, and luckily for Finn, he didn't get held up by that Williams coming into the pit lane, but he is through. Now it's going to be a case of where does he come out in relation to his teammate? Yep,
having a look at the Flying Finn now. He's out of the pits. Full throttle and up through the gears. There is his teammate. There is his brother. And there is the Haas. He's going to make it. He's going to squeeze him at the inside. He does stay ahead of Evo, though, so he's going to be ahead of Evo, and he's going to have 1 lap fresher tires. And he's not that far off of his brother either. What tire is he on?
softs, I believe. Yeah,
he is on the softs. Okay, so it's showing his super softs for me, so I was a little bit confused for just a moment there, but yeah, I have confirmed it is soft. So he will have the 1 lap fresher tires, but I mean, that's not going to be a huge difference for these guys, so it'll be interesting to see if he can make anything happen.
Yeah, it will be pretty interesting indeed. The front few guys are looking pretty close at the moment, locked down. It seems like there's a whole queue of cars. I was definitely underestimating this midfield battle. Haven't really had a chance to look at it, but at the moment, looks like everyone's coming through pretty nicely. Joe is still right with CRL Rosberg at the moment, and these guys are they're both on soft tyres. Expect these guys to go a lot longer, of course. These guys will probably go to, I think, I don't want to put a number on it, but I'm sure it'll be close to about lap 15 to about lap 18. You should expect them to come in and make their pit stop. So expect them to take the lead of this race. More so pits from 3rd place. Cryo
lockdown from 6th place as well. CRL Hamilton from 5th. So all 3 of those guys. Let's see if Gauche Crab stays out. So I believe, yeah, he is the only person that is still on a set of Ultra Softs and still running around out there. What's that?
Bit of a battle. Yeah, him and Gorsh is in a bit of a battle here with Pinecone behind him as well. These guys are going absolutely hammer and tongs for it. I'm not sure who's going to go. Oh, Alonso locks up. He goes straight on at turn 4, and he's pushed his teammate wide as well. That could have been massive proportions, maybe a loss of the race lead, but Alonso keeps it. But he locked up so much. I think the Haas was, maybe it was the Ferrari ahead of Gorsh who was slow, and it allowed... Well, I mean, Pinecone had to lock up, it seems, and it seems that Alonso just went straight on. He just underestimated the braking point, went straight on there. He is still in a net lead, though, so it is okay, but Gorsh has gone a bit wide. This could be monumental, and now he's going to make a move, Alonso, on Pinecone. Gorsh in the middle. He really doesn't need to do this. This is too risky. I don't know whether he's going to go for it, and... Oh, goodness me, it lagged at a wrong stage there. But Alonso, he really didn't need to go for that. I thought, I just had my heart in my mouth for a second because that could have gone so badly wrong.
Yeah, this is really intense stuff. Again, Crab is on Ultra Soft still, so those tires are absolutely destroyed, which is why everybody is so much faster than him. You can see him, he's going so wide. Thankfully, mercifully, dives into the pits. Pinecone will get the use of DRS here, but Alonso should get the better run out of the corner with the fresher tires. The Flying Finn is going to pick up the DRS and the slipstream as well. He needs to make sure to follow his teammate through. Interestingly, Alonso not able to make the move on Pinecone. Coming out of turn 2 now. Alonso with the DRS open. Pinecone as well with the DRS open, trying to grab that slipstream. Can he dive up the inside into turn 3? The Mercedes does make the move at the inside. His teammate is going to follow him through. Pinecone loses both positions. Flying Finn around the outside at turn 4, and both Mercedes drivers are through, and so is Evo actually as well. I completely forgot Evo was even in that. That was incredible, but yeah, he managed to get through as well. I gotta say kudos to Pinecone though, just for not taking anybody out there. To have those 3 guys all around you like that, that is pretty stressful, I would imagine.
Pretty stressful, pretty stressful. There's no other word for that. It would be pretty terrifying to see those guys mounting up behind you, ready to pass for a lead. It is a bit of an intimidating sight, it must be said. But all these guys staying within distance of each other. It's not changed. 11 laps gone in this race, and nothing has changed. Apart from the race lead, of course, at one stage. But they're all staying pretty... You know, it's single file at the moment. Nothing really happening. Evo will be the one to really hassle. He needs to go for it, I think, on Finn, because that will cause this team headaches, I'm sure, once that Ferrari gets in between the 2 Mercs.
Yeah, without question. And he is really on the back of the Flying Finn. Finn, thankfully for him, though, does get the use of DRS off of his brother and teammate up ahead in 3rd position. And they've got a pretty sizable gap of free air as well. It's 7 seconds up the road to Sam F1 LFC. So Alonso, Finn, Evo, these guys really kind of on their own now as Pinecone has begun to drop off the back. Speaking of which, LGS 469 might be looking to make quick work of his teammate here. He's closed up to the back of Pinecone pretty significantly here. And have they both stopped is the question. Neither of them have stopped, in fact. Yeah. So yeah, both of these guys still running around on their original softs.
Yeah, so it'd be a bit of a controversy, it would be said, if one of the Haas took out one of the Mercedes, of course. We have seen conspiracy theories roamed around Australia in the past with Haas cars and Ferrari cars, so we wouldn't want to go down that route in AOR for the first race of the season. But Evo looks like he's on rails here. Actually looks a lot closer visibly. Oh, well, I say that. It wasn't massively, but through 11 and 12 he looked a little bit closer. It's where can he make this move now? Because there's no DRS in the third sector like there is in real life. These guys are going to have to do it in 2. So where is he going to get this move done? It should be turn 3, I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to have to do, he's going to have to do something really impressive, or he's just going to have to keep piling this pressure on, because you can see he's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream on the Flying Fin, but he's just not making any sort of headway. Another 3-second penalty for EVR Reynolds as we start lap 13, approaching the halfway distance of this race, and a yellow flag in Sector 3 as well.
There's a retirement, and it's Reynolds.
Oh, that was Reynolds.
Through 11 and 12.
Ooh, and that is unfortunate.
Both wheels off his wagon.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Yeah, not much of that car left. Unfortunate. We do get to see the hype energy drink bouncing around a little bit, though, so that's cool. So CRO Rosberg still leading. OMG, it's Joe, worth pointing out, still running within DRS range of Rosberg. These two have been absolutely glued together for the entire race. Here it is, lap 13, still running less than a second away from one another as he gets very aggressive through turn 12 there. OMG, it's Joe. Really, really desperately needs to find a way past CRL Rosberg. He might try something different with the pit stops potentially, because he just does not seem to be able to make it happen on circuit. Into the high-speed right-hander and into the penultimate corner we go for the Red Bull. Can he make the move on his sister teammate CRL Rosberg, and a couple more 3-second time penalties? Man, a lot of 3-second time penalties coming up in this race. DRS now for OMG, it's Joe on the run down towards turn 1. It doesn't look like he's going to be close enough on this occasion, but can he get close enough through 1 and 2 in order to mount an attack into turn 3? No, he's a bit wide at the exit of 1, and yeah, by the time he gets the DRS open, he's already a number of car lengths back, so it looks like he is going to continue on in second position as it stands right now. That gap, though, that I mentioned earlier, James, between 3rd and 4th is really starting to come down now. Just over 4 seconds between Sam and Alonso.
I think this is crucial as well. I mean, you've got to consider, where are these two guys going to come out in relation? Sam F1 and FC is on a completely different strategy to anybody else. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to decide to do. Will he go on to Ultras for the end part of this race? It's going to be close.
Yeah, we'll certainly keep an eye on Sam, who again was the first car out for season 15. So he can actually, he can put that on his Wikipedia page. First car out on track for season 15 of the AOR Hype F1 Xbox League. And don't forget, we are also sponsored by Elgato, guys, now. So everybody go buy an Elgato right now, because they're awesome. They're fantastic. In fact, I'm hoping to get an Elgato soon, so that will hopefully improve the quality of these streams. If you guys are not happy with the quality of the streams, I do apologize. It's just because I don't have a capture card, and obviously I'm streaming Xbox One to PC and then streaming that to you guys. So, I mean, there's a lot of compression going on right now, but that will be improving once I get my Elgato. So, everybody go buy a couple of Hype energy drinks and some Elgatos for all your friends and family as well, too.
If they're available in your country, of course.
That's right.
I don't think Hype is in every country, is it?
Yeah,
so.
I've honestly never seen it at a store in America. So yeah, it must be difficult to find. So I don't know. Maybe I can get in touch with Hype and they can send me, because I was looking at their website. They have a mojito flavor, and I really like mojitos. All right.
Well, this race has become something else.
Yeah, let's get back to the action. These three guys, though, Alonso, Finn, Evo, still completely inseparable. We are now halfway through this race. We're about 14 and a half laps in on lap 15 currently of this 29-lap, 50% race, and these three guys still completely inseparable. In fact, Danny M7 has gotten past TOR Leopard. I'm not sure when that happened or how that happened.
I don't recall it. I saw
They've both stopped.
But I never saw anything else after that, so
yeah.
Pretty big move then from Danny. Puts himself in a net P4. That's pretty good. If he can keep the pace up, this podium isn't completely out of range. I do like to look at the long-term ball game of a race, but it is still possible. These guys are batting away quite hard, so it's not completely over. He is closing the gap as well. It's not really going further out. So Danny has still got a chance here, but he does need to put the power down. He's only got 13 laps to go.
Yeah, he's looking nice and steady. He was only a 10th off his PB on that most recent lap, so he's looking very consistent, which is what you would expect from Danny M7. I mean, the guy scored points in every single race he was in last season, in Season 14, so we certainly expect consistency from Danny M7, but what I hope for Danny M7 in Season 15 is podiums and that sort of thing, because we've seen him in the points plenty of times. The guy's got, you know, plenty of 7th, 6th, 5th, 4ths, etc. I would like to see him more on the podium this season. And as you mentioned, he's just outside a net podium position right now. And there are still 13 laps of racing to go after this lap is completed, so he's not out of it just yet. It'll be really interesting to see what he can do from here, because yeah, as you mentioned before, James, that gap is really kind of staying the same. Those guys aren't really pulling away.
And the famous quote was once said by Mr. Walker: anything happens in Formula One, and it usually does.
It usually does,
so
yeah.
Yeah, let's just wait and see as to what's going to happen here, because Sam F1 FC
is
just ahead of these guys. This could be big as well. These guys don't really want to be caught up in any traffic at this stage.
Yep, and Alonso goes for the inside line into turn 1 with the use of DRS. Will his teammate be able to follow him? No, it doesn't look like he can. So it looks like this might actually help out. Alonso the most, as Sam kind of gets out of the way for Flying Finn. Evo up the inside at turn 3, very late on the brakes. Does manage to make the corner, though. A lovely move from NLR Evo, and all 3 of those cars have managed to overtake Sam in the space of 3 corners. So again, that just goes to show the caliber of racing and drivers that we have in AOR, as they're able to just scythe their way past Sam while he's running his own race as well, you know, and without interrupting his race or anything like that. Truly incredible. And that's not a blue flag situation. That was obviously 4 position. So, but Sam wisely not trying to fight that too much, because of course he could have easily ruined his own race if he battled that too hard. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm going to just take a look at some of the biggest gainers in this race so far, and of course it is currently the 2 guys that are leading, Sarah Rosberg and OMG It's Joe. Of course, they are yet to stop. I said it'd be around lap 17 that they would dive into the pits, so they haven't done yet. They are going to be waiting. They are playing the long game. I'm not sure when they will come in, but other big gainers, of course, Sam F1 LFC, who is in P6, has made 8 positions and has now stopped.
Yep, and he's now into the pits as well. So that will almost certainly drop it. Yeah, that's definitely going to drop him outside the points. But of course, he is going to have the benefit of fresh tires as well. So we'll see. He's got the super softs on at the moment, and it looks like he is going to go on to a set of ultra softs for the final 12 laps of this race. Now, of course, there's some rubber down on the circuit. Car is lighter with fuel, but 12 laps on the ultra softs, is that going to be okay?
I don't know. 12 laps, it's a bit of a push when you consider everyone else. These top 3, for example, as well. These guys stopped on like lap 9, I think it was. It was quite early, and you know, 2 laps, you say, no, you should be able to do that. I wouldn't put your bottom dollar on it. It's definitely not something that it can be done. Punctures can be happening, but he's already passed 1 driver.
Yeah, that was quick.
He's on absolute charge already. Now, get ready for some fastest laps.
Yeah. Without question. Although I mean, with 12 laps, he is going to have to steady himself and make sure he doesn't push those tires too hard, too quickly. Back on board with what is essentially the battle for the lead, because Rosberg and Joe have yet to stop. And in fact, let's go on board with them. They're making their way through the penultimate corner. Will the Toro Rosso pit? Will the Red Bull pit? Neither of them pit. So that is very interesting to see how much earlier, because, I mean, Sam came in already and put on ultra soft. So, I mean, these guys are surely going to go on ultra softs when they do eventually come in. Oh, and we've lost another driver, VSR Simon, who had just gotten passed by Sam F1 LFC. VSR Simon has been lost. He jumped up to 8th all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he's on the start-finish straight.
Timing screen glitch. Oh, is he? Oh,
yeah,
okay. He's
just sat on the start-finish straight. We have a stationary banana on the start-finish straight. This isn't Mario Kart. We're not supposed to have bananas on the circuit. But Sam F1 LFC continues his charge. Now up into P15, thanks of all of that, as Crab now picking up a 3-second time penalty for too many warnings as well. And in fact, he is going to be next on Sam F1's hit list. 1.5 seconds, the gap between the Ferrari and the Sauber, and I'm sure that gap is going to come down very quickly. I expect by the end of this 19th lap, we'll see that Sauber making his way past. Oh, and Pinecone! Pinecone has lost it. The very young Haas driver lost it through turn 5, I believe it is.
Finn has got momentum on Alonso. Sorry to cut across.
No, please do.
No, he's not quite going to get that move done through there. But he is very close, Finn. These guys are actually. This is just. We stayed as it is for a while, but it's now only 1/10 of a second. This is going to be huge. I'd ride on board with this and take us through it.
Yep, I'm on board with the Flying Finn right now. DRS open. It looked like a very nice exit for the Mercedes driver and reigning AOR Xbox champion into turn 1. He's closing on Alonso ever so slightly. What he really needs is a good run through 2 and 3. DRS opens up now at the exit. He's very close, just a couple of car lengths between the two Saltunk brothers on the way down towards turn 3. Inside line for Alonso, outside for Finn, and Alonso successfully defends the position, well held by the younger brother to hold off his more experienced and older teammate and brother and current champion 3 times running, looking to emulate Noble 2909 all those years ago. Oh, a big moment at the exit of turn 6 there for the Flying Finn. That's certainly not going to help him in his quest to catch his younger brother.
It's very difficult in dirty air. Even on this game, it represents it so well, but the cars in dirty air on this game are so horrid to drive. It's so difficult to get the cars turned in. So the fact that Finn got even that close to his teammate says a lot. But what these guys must be thinking right now? They must be, I don't know what they must be thinking. They're going to go full ham, you know, full leather. Let's see what they can do, because these guys are brothers, they're teammates. You don't really want to, you know, ruin. You're not going to ruin anything, to be fair, but you'll be ruining.
They're also roommates.
What's going to happen? Whether these guys are going to allow themselves to battle or not, we will wait and see. And we won't be waiting very long by the look of things either.
No, yep. And Evo, I'm on board with Evo actually, because he's got a front row seat for what is the most exciting battle on track right now. He's actually losing time though too, the Flying Finn. Let's go on board with the older brother. Into turn 1 we go once again. He needs that good run, cutting that first corner very nicely, but keeping 2 wheels on the track. DRS open now on the run down towards turn 3. Another opportunity for the Flying Finn, but it doesn't look like he's going to get alongside late as he can on the brakes, as Alonso completely misses the apex there by a solid meter or so. The Flying Finn able to find it and closes up on Alonso, but of course now he won't have any real overtaking opportunities until lap 22, because it really does seem, with how equal these 3 drivers are, they really just don't have any other place to overtake other than turn 3. The DRS and the slipstream are the only thing that separates these guys as far as pace. And the Flying Finn is doing his best, but it's just not quite working out. And I have to say, this isn't a bias or anything. I would like to see Alonso win, just because I would like to see a season-long battle between these 3 guys, much like what we're seeing in real Formula 1, with Vettel picking up the first couple of wins, but not so much in China, so and actually barely scoring in China. So hopefully we can see that sort of thing from AOR Season 15. Into the final few corners we go for the 21st time in this Australian Grand Prix, into the penultimate corner, and it looks like the Flying Finn is much more comfortable through that penultimate corner. He is able to find his apex a little bit better through the final corner as well. He's going to get a good run on Alonso. Again, I don't think he's going to be close enough to mount an attack into turn 1. So again, our focus will turn towards turn 3. Lay down the brakes between the 50 and the 100 meter board, letting it run out onto the curbing on both the left-hand side and, actually, I was going to say the right-hand side, but not so much. Closing in on Alonso. Is very defensive to the right-hand side of the circuit. Late braking, but no. Again, well held by the younger brother.
Absolutely. I've been losing you a little bit there, but it should be okay now. These guys staying definitely within touching distance of each other at the moment, but it's going to be desperate for both of us. Alonso runs a bit wide through there. This is going to be so close. This could be a last lap overtake from one of these two, and it could all end in tears yet, so let's just wait and see as what's going to happen.
Danny M7 for the win, maybe? We'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, Evo, of course, for those that are maybe new to this league, new to this series, Evo is a very calculated driver, very mature respectful. I mean, all of these guys are, but Evo even more so than these guys. I mean, he's really not going to go for a gap if it's not there. And Evo's all about piling on pressure and consistency and all of that sort of thing. So he might be sitting just far enough back to watch and see what happens between these two brothers, these two teammates, these two roommates that have to deal with each other on a daily basis, and see what happens between the silver arrows, and then he will go accordingly. So I think he's maybe just happy to sit back and watch for now. He's really not losing time. He's only 5/10 off the back of the Flying Finn, but again, the Flying Finn just really not able to close in that gap on his younger brother.
Absolutely, all these guys gunning for F1 esports as well. So I mean,
yeah,
look forward to that in the next few months or so. It's going to be interesting. There's TOR Leopard has got a move done on Danny, so he's made a move on the Red Bull.
Oh, sorry, he got a move by Joe on Rosberg that ended with some contact, or no, excuse me, on Cryo lockdown. That put Cryo into a spin. I'm not sure who's to blame for that one, or if that's just a racing incident, but they both continue with no damage.
Absolutely. So there's only 6 laps to go. I think we should think of a driver of the day. And if you would like to do that, of course, you can always put a hashtag AORF1 in your tweets. And also remember to put it in the chat as well. And let us know and get yourselves in a bit of a debate to who is the driver of the day. There are plenty, I think, of protagonists for this one, especially from this race. You're looking at one right now. In fact, I think SDSF1 Alonso. Brilliant drive from him, really calculated drive, to be fair to him, managing to hold on to this lead for so long. These guys have been in DRS with him for 29 or 23 laps, it could be 29 laps of this race so far. Leopard has had a pretty stellar debut in Tier 1 with the 4th place, and others to note as well. I mean, you just got to look, let's see where Sam F1 NFC comes out in all of this, because he could still get points today. He just needs to push like hell, and he has got some catching up to do as well.
Yep, and I was just watching the battle between Hamilton and Lockdown. After Lockdown had that incident with Joe, he's been coming under attack from CRL Hamilton. The Williams got pretty close a couple of times on lap 23, but a big slide out of turn 1 is going to ensure that he's not able to close up on Cryo Lockdown on this particular occasion. So let's move back on board with the top 3 as Kyle Mitchell has left the session. The Canadian not having the best of races. As I mentioned before, stellar in qualifying last season from Kyle Mitchell. We saw some real flashes of brilliance from Kyle, but in the race he has been struggling even going into last year, and it seems that that trend is continuing. So hopefully for Kyle, he will continue to improve and continue to find that consistency and that confidence that you need in order to be consistently successful in AOR Xbox F1, which is not an easy thing to do. On board with Evo once again. Doesn't look like the Flying Finn is going to be too close to his brother Alonso as they finish lap 24. Just 5 laps remaining from Melbourne here for the Australian Grand Prix for the first round of AOR Xbox One Season 15. And it is as it was. So let's go on board with the Flying Finn. Let's see if maybe he can get a good enough exit. No, Alonso with just a beautiful exit out of turn 1 and 2 is just going to allow him to easily hold on to that lead heading into turn 3. He's seeming much more comfortable now there. Let's see. Danny M7 actually not that far off of Leopard, not able to pull alongside. So it does look like we do have a battle for 4th on our hands. But, and I think you called this actually before the race started, James, an 8-second gap from 3rd down to 4th. So that is the difference between the esports finalists and everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. But all credit where credit's due to the non-esports drivers, doing a pretty good job so far. Well, some people who compete in AOR Tier 1 aren't even old enough to register for the F1 esports. So that is a thing. And also got to consider this. I don't think Finn has looked completely on it the last couple of laps. He's dropped a few tenths over the last couple of laps. You just want to keep an eye out. Maybe he's saving fuel for a absolute push to the line against his teammate. This is going to be where it gets interesting once again. So, yeah, as I say, Finn is backing off. He definitely isn't now because he is right on that gearbox of his fellow... or his brother, I should say, as well. So this is going to be interesting. The next 3 laps of this race could be incredible. Let's just watch and wait and see for the remaining laps.
Yep, it's about 3 or 4 car lengths between Alonso and Finn at the moment. Nope, it doesn't look like Finn is going to get alongside. Let's move on board with Danny real quick. He's gotten a pretty good exit out of turn 2. DRS open now on TOR Leopard. Let's see if Leopard's going to defend the inside line heading into 3. He actually doesn't need to. Oh, kind of in the middle of the circuit from Leopard there, and just manages to hold off Danny M7, who has been getting closer and closer. A bit of a slide out of turn 4 for the Red Bull, but he does manage to gather it all up and keep everything pointing in the right direction. Let's move back on board actually with the Flying Finn. He's just came out of turn 9. He is right behind Alonso. It's going to be very close heading down towards turn 11. He's just a couple of car lengths back. Really not an overtaking location though, is turn 11, and he's nicely through there though. He's following very closely, and in fact he's closing up. Yeah, that was a beautiful exit out of 12. Is he going to try and send one up the inside of the right-hander? No, he does not. Alonso with a bit of wheel spin at the exit of the corner of the back end, just stepping out ever so slightly into the right-hander, down towards the penultimate corner, and there he goes, up the inside for the Flying Finn. Contact with his brother. His brother is going to continue on. No damage for either driver. Through the final corner they go, and Evo is very close to the Flying Finn as well. Finn does get the DRS. So does the Ferrari behind him. They're going to cross the line to start lap 27. 3 laps remaining in this Australian Grand Prix, and Evo just kind of backs out of it there a little bit. I think he realized that he wasn't going to be able to make the move on this lap and just kind of backed out of it a little bit. In the Flying Finn, again, not able to pull alongside Alonso. Alonso does miss his apex completely, though. That means a much better run through turn 4 for the Flying Finn. But can he really go? Can he really make an overtake at turn 6 here? Oh, it's so tight. Oh, no. Yeah, and Alonso defends the position well once again.
Look at that run coming out of turn 6. Look at this. He could be all the way side by side with him. Down in towards turn 3. The move done.
Wow. Wow. Alonso just about holds it. Incredible.
2 laps to go. This is not over. Look how close it is. You could put a £5 note on these 3 guys. So we probably should have rounded that a little bit further out. But still, it's as it was. It's Alonso from Finn from Evo. This isn't changing anytime soon, but these guys were going hell for leather these last 2 laps.
Yeah, this is incredible stuff. Oh, is Finn going to send it up the inside at the penultimate corner again? No, Evo is practically pushing him through that corner. Finn kissing the grass on his way through the second to last corner. Onto the start-finish straight they go. Once again, DRS open for the reigning champion. Can he make the move into turn 1? No, he's going to be too far back. Late as he can on the brakes into turn 1. Carry as much speed through 2 and 3 as he possibly can. DRS open. Alonso is almost certainly going to defend the inside line. It's worked out so well for him on the previous laps. He does defend the inside line. Finn tries it around the outside, tries the switchback now. Can he make it around the outside of turn 4? No, Alonso squeezes him. Well held by STSF1 Alonso. Penultimate lap of this race. Finn is getting very close. He's going to try it again at turn 6, but I don't think it's going to work out for him. No, Alonso, again, just manages to hold off. And I think that 1 lap difference in the tires is really starting to show now.
Yeah, they don't care about their tyres anymore. They're completely gone. They're just going to absolutely go for it. And I don't blame them. This is the first race of an AOR Season 15, the biggest season of AOR they've ever had. This is going to be huge, as this last lap is still going on. Other races across this platform are over. It is down to this then. If you're just joining us, the STSF1 Alonso leads from the Flying Finn, but you can see in the top left-hand corner how close this is going to be. 1 lap to go.
Oh, man. Through the final sector for the second to last time into the penultimate corner for the Flying Finn. Again, he's just holding those apexes ever so slightly better than his brother is. It looks like the back end is just wanting to step out on that Mercedes. As we cross the line, it's a white flag this time by final lap of the Australian Grand Prix. Into turn 1 we go. He's too far back on this occasion, but he is going to get a good run through turn 1, through turn 2 as well. Letting the car run out wide again. Alonso staying to the right-hand side of the circuit, defending that inside line into turn 3, but no! He switches back! The Ricardo-style move, switches back to the inside. He'll have the outside line now for turn 4, and he's done it! He's just about done it. Incredible stuff from the Flying Finn to take the lead of the Australian Grand Prix on the last lap from his brother. Beautiful overtake.
Oh my word. He's led for 28 or so laps and he gets passed on the last one. Oh, that is so heartbreaking for Alonso, but it could be absolute just jubilation for the Flying Finn as he comes around the final few corners. It isn't over yet. It says 11 and 12, and if you get a good exit through here, it's not over. Look, he's actually got a sublime exit. Don't count this out just yet. Take us through this.
Yep, here he goes into the right-hander. The Flying Finn defending the inside line. He'll try for the outside line. Maybe he'll try a switchback, but no, the Flying Finn's got him covered at the exit of the corner. Moves to the right-hand side once again. Can he go around the outside? No, he's trying to switch back. He's going to try and go around the outside now at the penultimate corner. If he can make this stick, he'll have the inside line for the final corner. Alonso up the inside. The Finn gives him, Flying Finn gives him the room, but it looks like the Flying Finn is just going to edge out SDS F1 Alonso. Incredible. 1.151 between the Mercedes and less than a tenth down to NLR Evo. There is your top three in qualifying in the race. The Flying Finn, SDS F1 Alonso, NLR Evo, TOR Leopard in his debut for Apex Online Racing in the top split of this Xbox One League. Comes home in 4th position just outside the rostrum. A very well-deserved 4th for Leopard. He's, I mean, a candidate for driver of the day, I would say. That's a hell of a way to start your championship, especially as someone who we don't even know. Surprised me inside the top 5. Danny M7 in the end finishes in 6th position with Rosberg in 7th, more so in 8th. P1R Brown in 9th, Sam F1 LFC in P10 in the end. Yeah, with that ultra soft at the end, was able to grab a championship point in his first race of this season. But wow, what a way to finish the first race of season 15. That was truly incredible.
Oh my, I can't believe what I've just witnessed. That could be one of the closest finishes I've ever had. If you think you're going to get a close finish, you think Monza, you know, a good race, we got a long set of straights, and we've got one in the first race of the season. But my God, that was close. That was unbelievable. I'm so glad none of those guys had penalties, because that would have ruined it all. But this is AOR Season 15. Do not go anywhere, because this is going to be sensational throughout the season, I'm sure.
Yep, the hype is real for Season 15 of AOR, and the Flying Finn kicks off his championship in the best possible way with 25 points. His teammate coming home in 2nd with SDS F1 Alonso picking up 18 points for his championship bid. And of course, they are now the leaders in the team championship with 43 points going to Mercedes. That is a fantastic result for the team. And there you can see confirmation. The top 3 separated by less than a quarter of a second. Less than 2.5 tenths separating the top 3 after 41 and a bit minutes of racing. That is truly incredible. Look how close their fastest laps were as well. A 3-second time penalty for TOR Leopard. EVR Morso, no time penalty. Shout out to Morso for no time penalty. I always like to shout out people who don't pick up time penalties. Sam F1 LFC as well. And what you will notice, for people that are new to the league, what you will notice is that the winners never have time penalties. And I hope the other drivers will learn that lesson. Because, yeah, you can't win a race with time penalties. You got to be clean for all 29 laps. And that's exactly what Finn, Alonso, and Evo did. That's why they won the race, and that's why they have the most championship points after that first round. So, holy cow. Just want to say a quick thank you, of course, to Hype and Elgato, both sponsoring Apex Online Racing Season 15. All throughout this entire 15-race season. Yeah, it's a shortened season. It's not going to be the full 20 or 21 or whatever. It's going to be a 15-race season. And let's see if we can maybe get... I don't know if we want to get the Mercedes brothers in here right now, because there might be some dirty language going on, possibly.
I'm feeling quite warm. I do need chilling down, so I don't know whether that would be a good place to start.
Right. Well, holy cow, though. That was an absolutely incredible way to start this season. The 3 F1 esports finalists putting on a real show for us. Again, though, Evo doing his best, but, you know, maybe just not having the confidence to send one up the inside. You know, he's a little bit calmer of a driver. He's less likely to be going for tiny gaps and that sort of thing. Certainly the move we saw from Finn on Alonso, I don't think we would ever see anything like that from the German. So Yeah, he does come home in third. A good start to his season, but yeah, it would have been nice to see him to see Evo a little bit more involved in that lead battle.
It would have been, but my goodness me, that move. How he found a space, how he had the nerve to go, yeah, final lap, we're going to make the move on the inside, we're going to switch back on him. That was just incredible. So, I mean, all respect to all three of them, because to finish a race within 0.3 of each other is absolutely obscene. That is so on F1, it's unbelievable.
Okay, we do actually have the Flying Finn and Alonso. Oh, hello. Hey, I dragged you in. I'm dragging in your brother too. Okay. Okay, nope, never mind. We don't have Alonso. So yeah, that was quite the move there on the flying lap. First of all, I guess I should say congratulations on the win, but yeah, I think we probably want to hear about that move, because that was truly incredible up the inside at turn 3.
Yeah, I'm just, Sonnet's upset about it. I'll have to see how it is from his view, but from mine, it's a classic, typical last lap move, and yeah, he covered the inside, and then I pretended I was going around the outside. So a few laps ago, he would go towards the outside, so I thought, okay, if I can open him up, I can throw it in the inside last minute, and that's what I did. And yeah, not much space given, of course, but it's the last lap, and if you have the inside line, that's what you do. And
absolutely,
it's the #1 rule to cover the inside. Make sure you cover it, and he didn't manage to do that. But yeah, in a way, because he's my brother, I'm gutted for him, and I hope he's not too upset. But yeah, he can hold his head high because his pace was incredible, and if he wants to report me, then no hard feelings, he can go for it. And yeah, I wouldn't mind that. He's free to do whatever he wants, and yeah, just congrats to him and to Eva as well, and yeah, just glad to be back and get the season started.
Yeah, it was really fantastic to watch. Personally, from my point of view, I was on board. We were on your T cam when we saw the overtake on the stream, and I think you're exactly right. I think you safely sent it up the inside. He safely gave you the room, and you safely took the position. So yeah, I don't know if I would give any penalties out for that one or anything like that, but certainly I think we can all sympathize with leading the race for 28 and the third laps and then losing it right at the end there. But I think the big thing to take away is that the three of you are extremely close on pace, less than a quarter of a second as you guys cross the line. And I think the viewers and us as commentators are really looking forward to seeing the three of you, just battling all throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely. Even in practice, it was really, really close. Like, yeah, incredibly close. And yeah, to be honest, going into this race, I thought Evo was going to be the quickest one, because in practice he was always a few tenths quick in the race. But yeah, I'm not sure what the fuel he was using or what I was using compared to his. Yeah, overall it was just really close, and I think the whole season should be like this.
Yeah, and I think that's what we want. So we do have Alonso with us now. I mean, fantastic job to lead that race for as long as you did. It obviously unfortunate that you lost it right at the end there with that move at turn 3. But are you confident in your pace for the rest of the season? You think this is a sign of things?
Back. He's not getting away with that.
Okay, so you're going to go to the stewards?
He shoved me off the line. I was on that line, and then he just pushed me off.
Well. Oh, can you hear me? Okay, sorry. My microphone freaked out for a second there. But, I mean, you're right on the pace there with him. So was Evo as well. I mean, is it going to be like this all season long, do you think?
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna make sure it is.
Perfect. That's what we all want to see. Obviously, we don't have Matiz this season.
After we did that, I'm not showing no mercy anymore. He's getting shoved off the track.
Well, we will have to keep an eye on that one throughout the season. Thank you both for joining us, and thank you, of course, to the viewers for joining us for this first race, and thank you, James, for filling in, of course, for this race. Big ups for coming in and helping out. I think you might be muted, James. Nope, we may have lost James. I apologize, but thanks to James. Link to his Twitter in the description below if you want to check him out on Twitter. Again, thanks everybody for watching. We will see you next week for round 2 of Season 15 Apex Online Racing, brought to you by Hype and Elgato.